right, welcome back to the TW Local 591 podcast. My name is Gary Scheibel, your local president. Joining me today, Russ Dittmer, your administrative executive board member. I do apologize for getting this one out a little bit late. This is actually going to be the January 31st Friday Call podcast, but we've been on the road quite a bit this week, so let's go ahead and get started, Russ. Starting right out, Tony Laporte gave an update. It's along with Ken Morse from our EAP and peer support folks. Obviously, last week we were dealing with two pretty big tragedies. One, Charlotte, we lost a fellow union member, fleet service clerk, got killed on the ramp. That was a horrible situation. And then obviously in DCA, we had the crash, which was also just a really horrific situation. So our EAP team is out there. They've been there helping anybody that needs any kind of assistance, or as always, even family members. So when a fellow worker like the folks in Charlotte, if anybody that's been impacted by that, please reach out. The other one that Tony wanted to speak to, benefits. The company, in their infinite wisdom, decided to change the FMLA recertification requirements to twice yearly. So if you're dealing with FMLA, once it gets, I believe it was February 1st, is kicked off, you'd have to get recertified. Just check with any one of our peer support guys and they can tell you exactly how this will work. From a DOL perspective, I'll just read you exactly what they state, which is in all cases, including those where the condition may be indefinite, the employer may, and that's why I say may, request a recertification for absences every 6 months. So they don't have to do this. The company has chosen to utilize the word may to shall. So it's an inconvenience for anybody that's got FMLA, and it's one that the company is imposing upon on folks that are dealing with chronic illnesses. The other one, the local, and this one continues, the local sent out a union benefits survey. Please participate. The information being requested is strictly because we're looking for better rates, better health insurance, the voluntary ones that it goes through the union. So we need demographic information, just trying to get the rates as low as possible. That's all this is about. So please go on our website. I know it was sent out again at least twice now. Please just let us know the information so we can negotiate the best rates possible. So, Russ, you want to handle compliance?
I'm going to start out with a reminder from our ASAP SMS compliance coordinators to remember we need to document our work as we go along. The old days with a pen and paper where you had the ability to just jot everything down on a notepad and then walk in, put everything in either an E58 or a non-routine or a logbook page, and then continue back and forth. That no longer works for a couple of reasons. Number one, compliance-wise, things get missed when we do that. They're starting to see an uptick in that, and they need that just to remind everyone, as you're doing the work, document what you're doing. If you're on an inspection and you find something wrong, stop, use your tablet, or document it, and then go back to work and continue doing that inspection at that point in time. The hazard is missing items and not documenting everything that needs to be documented. They also reminded us that the FAA inspectors, the safety inspectors, are out and observing. And they did want to say, if you're approached by a safety inspector, it's natural to be a little nervous. But you do have the ability to indicate to the safety inspector, the FAA inspector, I really would like a union representative here with me. I'm really nervous right now, or I'm uncomfortable. And they will absolutely allow you to have that witness there at any time. And the last one is on problems we've had with people going around or circumventing the maintenance program or a maintenance manual or a procedure. And this is really becoming a concern for our members, for their livelihoods, and for their jobs. Honestly, one of our e-board members, AMT e-board member Mark Erler, really, he explained it this way. If you're doing that to help the company, quote unquote, it's not only a CFR violation, but the sad truth is, especially with this management team, being a hero is like taking the express lane to the unemployment line. We have seen so many problems in the recent past where guys think they're doing the right thing for the company and they're really not. They're hurting themselves and potentially hurting others, and maybe not even producing an airworthy aircraft. So please take the time to realize, being that we live in this new environment, follow the rules, follow the manuals. If you have problems with the way the manuals or cards are written, please just contact your crew chief, your tech crew chief, MCT, or your union. And I'm going to jump right into safety, if you don't mind, Gary.
Oh, that'd be great.
Unfortunately, once again, we need to bring this up. Injuries are up. And one of the things that they keep seeing as an issue is distractions. Number one, when you're working on an airplane, when you're parking an airplane, don't have your cell phone with you, please. Just leave it on your toolbox, leave it in your locker, whatever, when you're doing work, so that you're not distracted by it. This could damage aircraft, it could distract you. Just don't even have it there and you won't be tempted. You're not going to believe it, but the company PPE catalog is still a problem. The company is still trying to get the links working. We don't know where that's going, but it's definitely in works. There is some PPE equipment that the company is reviewing right now for winters. What that is, we're waiting on a final update from our safety coordinator, Mike Cockrum. But at this point, just know that they're working on finding better winter equipment, clothing, and stuff for next year. In that same vein, the OSHA 300A injury reports are required to be posted by February 1st of every year. If they're not on your bulletin board where they're required to be posted, please get a hold of your station chair as soon as possible to make sure the company gets in compliance with the OSHA regulation. And the last one, for those at station chairman level or safety coordinator or stewards, please make sure that you get the opportunity to go to all of the station level safety meetings. These are contractually protected meetings, and they're there to protect not only you and the members, but also to communicate to the larger local exactly what's happening in your station and what's being done to fix the problems. So if you don't go to those meetings, we can't know what the heck is going on. So please take the time, communicate with Mike Cockrum, our safety coordinator, on that, and I'll turn it back over to Gary on
Yep.
the next couple of topics.
All right. So one that came up, and I find it baffling, is aircraft release contract violations that we're seeing now. So what I'm talking about is allowing management to accomplish or sign the aircraft release instead of crew chiefs. So management is accomplishing the aircraft release task. It's a task that is in the contract. It is clear. It is crew chief's work. Crew chiefs obviously can task it to a mechanic. We've been down this road many times, but management should not be doing this work. That's our work. So we should not be giving this work away. That's been a fight, especially from this local, to keep that work. We want that work. Don't let management steal your work. And if you get any kind of issues like that, get with a shop steward, get with a chairman, get with somebody, contact us. We need the evidence of the sign offs, and we want that work. Russ?
Absolutely. So the next topic is field trips. We talk about it every week because we track field trips at the board level. There were 33 line field trips this week and 2 base field trips. The one thing that did come up was station coverage field trips. We're hearing someone in IOC, we don't know who yet. We have not heard back yet. Is pushing for either taxi or right seat qualification for this. We will address this at the field trip meeting moving forward. But our position is very simple. There is no reason to require right seat or taxi for station coverage field trips. You're there strictly for that on-call maintenance issue that might come up during the flying day. That's our position, and hopefully we can get this resolved at the next field trip meeting. And Gary, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I'll think. So next one deals with GSE. We've had a lot of attrition in our former smaller stations that aren't protected under the JCBA. And as a result, as the work has been turned over to the vendor, the quality is horrible. It's to be expected, and also productivity issues as far as getting the equipment back has been a problem. It's simple there. Don't utilize any equipment that's not up to standards. If it's out of service, then it remains out of service. So um, we can't be doing them a favor by utilizing unsafe equipment. That's what it really comes down to. One thing that did come up also, some stations are down to a handful or less of GSE mechanics. So you do have safety issues, limits the ability to get work done. Management is looking at the head count. They were trying to budget some head count. One additional one in GSE world is tech crew chief positions. There's been one position in the system. That's not adequate for, especially with the amount of new hires coming in. So that has been in works for some time. They're waiting on finance approval, and hopefully that will be done soon. So, Russ.
All right. The next topic is MLS scorecards and productivity tracking. E-board member Mike Jazerski was recently made aware of this, that the claim is that scorecards came up tracking activities, productivity, and all that kind of stuff. There's no doubt the company has already said in multiple locations that they are going to automated AI productivity tracking systems. He is actively involved, and he will be in meetings next week to find out more about the systems, what they monitor, what they don't monitor, things along those lines. But suffice to say that productivity monitoring management is doing it, and they're going to probably continue to do it even more and more as time moves on. Along with that, this week was we did the quarterlies in the Northeast region and Central region in JFK and ORD. Unfortunately, due to some scheduling conflicts, we were not able to go over to LaGuardia and chat with the members there, but we look forward to any time that we can stopping at other stations and talking to members outside of the formal quarterly meetings that we're required to do. But we'll continue on with that. And next week is the quarterly meeting in Southeast region for Miami. And the week after that will be San Francisco and DFW. San Francisco in the West region and DFW in the Southwest. Gary?
All right, so next topic, Towbar Disconnects. Forever and a day, Towbar Disconnects, what do? You send out a mechanic to inspect, make sure everything is good before you move the airplane. Why? It's pretty obvious. But AA decided now to change the ramp operating manual regarding Towbar Disconnects. So they changed it to allowing the fleet service clerk to do basically a cursory inspection to make sure whether or not any obvious damage. And if there's no obvious damage, they can move the aircraft back to the gate for maintenance to come out. I am absolutely, this is wrong. This is again another one where management's trying to steal a base to get away from actual maintenance procedures. Not sure how an FAA could allow this. That's a different topic, but I am in contact with the APA and going to have a conversation about whether or not they're okay with this, because I have a strong suspicion that they're not going to be okay with this and just weren't brought up to speed on it. The other one that's we were dealing with last week, company EAP. So let me just give you the story on the company EAP, and maybe everybody can understand what's going on here. So back after the merger, the company outsourced the EAP department that was actually a really good department inside of American. They sent that to a vendor, much like they like to send maintenance to a vendor. Went with the lowest bidder, and we see it. So that is when Local 591 back then, the administration as a whole, we made a decision to step up our game with our EAP, now called peer support, to make it what it is, which is second to none. So if members have needs for support, contact our peer support folks. They handle EAP, they handle benefits, they're actually handling professional standards. They are simply the best. Their names are all over, local591.com. They're also on the bulletin boards.
Yep.
My thought on this is company EAP, their first priority is always going to be the company. Our EAP folks, that should be your first phone call. They're about you. They're about your family. They're about taking care of our members. So, Russ, we had one question, which was MLS Tech crew chiefs met in headquarters this week, and I guess the question was, what were they doing there?
Yeah, e-board member Mike Jazerski for the MLS group fielded this question, and he explained that absolutely the MLS Tech crew chiefs were at headquarters, and the goal is it's kind of like an annual meeting for them to plan the current and future MLS training needs. And if you look at it from the AMT world, we have a lot of MTS that do a lot of that planning work. Well, in the MLS world, the tech crew chiefs own most of the training.
James.
So on an annual basis, they do that. So this is a normal thing that happens with them. So nothing to be concerned about there.
Okay. Well, that's our podcast for this week. Thank Russ for joining me this
Glad
week.
to.
And as always, if you have questions, feedback, any topics you want us to cover, please get hold of us at info@local591.com, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.